Hey, good people. You know what time it is? It's another week, so another dose of Foxy Diaries, right? And as I said from our last episode, this week we are looking at leadership in a lens, in an angle of, is there really a perfect leader? Or are there limitations, or what, for purposes of this episode, we are going to call leading while limping? And on that note, before we dive deeper and deeper, my name is Sylvia.
And my name is Grace Mangi, who's always sipping something.
Always and always. Anyhow, as we dig in, because today I know it's personal for you.
Hey, me. Okay, yeah, it's personal. It's personal for me. I love healing. Yes. I love the healing ministry. Personally, I believe that God has called me to the healing ministry, especially emotional wounds. And therefore, this is something I am looking so much forward to. And I love our story for today. You do not want to miss that and much more that we have in store for you, lined up in the next 20 minutes of your time.
Yes. So, yeah.
Leading crutches, wanna lead, lakini wako na crutches zenye hatuoni. So do I read the story for you? We converse from that point. We can. Yeah, I love this story. Every Sunday, every Sunday, the church clapped as he preached. Fire on the pulpit, strength in his word. But on Mondays, he sat in a therapist chair, trained and silent. No one knew the cost. No one saw the sleepless nights, the fear of failure, the weight of carrying everyone's pain while hiding his own. For years, he thought leadership meant hiding the limp, until he broke down mid-sermon one day and confessed, I am not okay, but I am healing. Instead of losing respect, his honesty sparked revival. People felt seen. It turned out his vulnerability was the someone they needed the most.
Wow.
Well done to that pastor that we are not mentioning his name. Mnaweza kuwa mnamjua
ni vizuri ku protect dignity na integrity ya watu.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
We show up all the time. I have showed up a lot of times while kwanza kuna kitu naambianga watu, when people ask me what's the most difficult, what's the hardest thing about being an air host, like a TV host or rather TV presenter, I tell them the showing up part. Uliamka asubuhi, few minutes before umepata tu news kibaya, and then 5 minutes later your director producer is there running the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you have to forget that kuna kitu there's something inakusumbua, and you have to smile and tell people, hello, good morning, how are you, you know. And it's so weighing. You have to show up without showing the world that you are not okay. And a lot of our leaders, pastors, CEOs, businessmen, parents, name them leaders, are showing up while they are limping, and they are thinking that hiding that heart is actually what they need to do. Imagine not tumekam kukushow usifiche, wacha kusema you're okay and you're not okay. It's fine to tell people you're not fine. It's fine that you don't have it figured out altogether. It's fine that you're leading. Recently, before we started this episode, I was talking to Sly about a position they elected me for, and I'm like, Sly, I don't thrive in those. I don't thrive in those positions, because in my mind I'm like, I don't like trusting God for resources. And I realized I'm not running away from being the chairperson of this thing. I'm running away from, I am afraid, what if it doesn't work out? I am afraid of showing up when the mess is, it's messy. I am afraid of failure. I am afraid of leading a team that has so many capable people, and they have far more experience than I do. Parents, mothers, people call them professionals, corporates, people that have done that thing, and I am thinking, what do I tell them? Are these people okay? You they crazy? Who told you I can be a leader? Like who told you know? And that's the baggage we show up every day with to our leadership positions. But what if we told you that you can lead and limp at the same time? Just take the healing journey in your leadership journey. You don't have to stop one for the other. What if we told you that?
Yeah, I love the groundwork that you've laid, because that is it. We are here to say that one, there is literally no perfect person. We are all coming from somewhere, or we are somewhere, or we are going somewhere. And you know, with life, because we're doing a life, you know, if you were doing life alone, there would be probably a possibility of eventually achieving perfection. But the fact that I'm doing life with fellow human beings, and we are all at different levels of healing, we are all at different levels of doing work on ourselves, so there will always be something that is off. And just because something is off does not mean you shouldn't show up. We are saying that it's okay, it's normal, you're not alone. We are all struggling with something. But it's wrong for you to stay in your struggle. It's wrong for you to stay in your mess, in your fears. There's a place of this thing that I love so much called being self-aware. Be self-aware that this thing is what makes me limp. And what we are saying today is that limping is not supposed to be a limitation. If anything, it's supposed to push you towards, of course, the author of it all, who's God, to help you. To help you become better, to help you heal, as you're saying, because at the end of the day, he's still Rafa, and healing is not really always about physical healing. There is emotional healing, there is mental healing. Whatever kind of healing you think you need, it's possible, but whatever you struggle with should be what pushes you towards deeper intimacy, deeper connection with God, because it's from Him that perfection and wholeness is found. So at that point in your story of this pastor, it never made him less of a pastor.
Yes.
It never took away the anointing. It never took away the assignment.
Preach, sister.
It was still there, but he had to keep showing up. There's something I keep telling, especially people I lead with, or rather people who are slightly under me, and they're still leaders. There's something that I tell them all the time. Just because I am not okay, or my personal life is not moving the way it's supposed to move, there is a responsibility. You know what we're trying to say, leadership is actually a high level, a very sacred high level of stewardship. It's a form of stewardship. So I have to keep up, I have to keep showing up, because there are people who are looking up to me. So whether things are working out at home or in my relationship, you know, there is a place where to whom much more is given, you know, much is expected all the time. There is no way you are the head of something and you want to tell me the day you're fighting with your husband or your boyfriend, you won't show up, nothing will move. There is a place for that, and there is a place of knowing the responsibility upon your shoulders. You must show up for them. And that is the place where people need to grow to. That whether things are working or not, I need to show up. But in the showing up, we have a very gracious Father who always provides grace. Because as much as He's thinking about you, God is also thinking about every other person.
The assignment is bigger than your limp.
Exactly.
It's bigger than your limp. It is bigger than your limp. And I'm just coming to this thought as you were talking. I'm just coming to this thought here. I think why most leaders are afraid to show up or rather say I am not okay is because they also don't know who should have access to their emotional health.
Yeah, I love that point, because I think this is the place where we ask, going back to the circles, I think I love how our conversations have been flowing, because there's a place, you need a space where you are vulnerable. You need people that you're honest with your emotions. And we're putting a portion, and I think we did put a portion. If you didn't go back to the audit of inner circles, you'll know what we're talking about. But there's a place where you need people that you can go to, and I'm like, Grasha, I don't have grace for leadership. Grace, I am so tired. I want out. There's a place where you need to be that vulnerable, that and actually I have such few people in my life that all the time I'll go and tell them, I quit.
It's not by the Monday, it's not working.
I quit.
So tired. Mimi mtaniona Sunday, mtaniona church Sunday.
I know.
See me judge.
There is a person literally, I think it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I literally texted them, a group of schools, hi. I literally told him that I am quitting, I won't be going to church for a while. I want to find a place where I'm not known, a place where I have zero responsibility, and do church for like 3-4 Sundays, and then I'll know that I'll go back to church. So you need such people who you just tell that, and I just
bombastic said I didn't say anything. I was sipping.
So you need such people, because once you tell them that, they know how to speak life back to you again. They know how to cheer you on. They know how to tell you, hi Sly, let me know what I can help you with, so that the burden is lessened. Or like there's another friend of mine, because I think I've been in a season, if you know. So there's another friend of mine who came and told me, Sly, if there's anything that I can do for you to take away the pressures, the burden, let me know. And those are the kind of people that we're talking about, people who you're able to sit down and have honest conversations with, because they are very important for when you're leading while limping. Because if you don't do that, if you don't have that space, what is the problem here? You start doing things in secret.
Yeah. I was just telling this one about a story of a pastor.
Don't leave out any detail. If you leave it out, I'm going to say it.
Please. So I was telling them of a pastor who lived in sin, secret sin, struggled with sexual immorality, to be precise. And so after a while, he told God, I can't continue to live like this. I need healing. What do I do? Guess what God told him? Go and confess it to the church. Father God, let me say church. Yo, guys, I am your senior pastor, but this thing has been happening behind the scenes, man. How do you tell people that? That's what he was like. By the way, God, my wife doesn't. Confess kitu kayo mbele ya church na hata sijambia wife yangu. God told him, I just told you to go and confess it in the church. And then after you're done confessing, call for an altar call where you also call yourself for that altar call. Call for an altar call of anyone who's been living in secret sin and would love to rededicate their life to me. And he did. And he said, mkimaliza, call elders of the church to pray for you. Like call wazee wa kanisa wakuwekele mikono wakuombe, those that are standing uprightly. And he struggled with that thing, but he knew his healing was pegged on that instruction. So what did he do? Pastor manza katokea chat siku moja akasema venye mambo imekuwa ikiendelea huku behind the scenes, and he called for an altar. Everyone was shocked. The whole church was crying, and he called for an altar call. Literally the whole church went to the front. Kila mtu alienda mbele. So they rededicate their lives back, and the elders that were even elders in the church walikuwa kwa hiyo list ya wase, and they rededicated, and the elders that were remaining, I think it was his wife that remained who had not defiled herself, and I think 1 or 2, 3 elders, those were the people that prayed for them for restoration back. Amazing story. And I think there are 2 takeaway points from that story, because it's a true story, by the way. Number 1, light will always expose darkness. That is why you don't want to do this in secret. That is why somewhere in the Bible, of course, it says confess one to one another, So there's that place, because it's in your confession that you're allowing light. So you can't do things in secret. That's a lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, which is very heavy, and it's always very divine for me, is that in everything,
will always work for the good of them that love the Lord. God, again, I repeat again for the 1,000,000th time, God never wastes resources. So that thing that you think is so mega, there's somebody who's waiting for you to speak up so that you're able to hold their hand, number one. And number two, for them to realize, I'm not alone. It's not such a big deal. Because if you're not coming out and talking about it, there's somebody somewhere who's dying, who feels like, who has the weight of the world on them.
The worst of everything.
And God is waiting. So there's a place of being obedient on the confessing bit, because someone is waiting for that kind of confession. Number three, and I love this, I think it's always said that what you've never conquered, you can't have authority over it. And there are things that we go through, and if you go to a person to walk a journey with you and they've not really gone through it, it becomes a bit superficial. Say for example, there's somebody who's ill in your family, and you've never really had an ill person in your family, right? When I come to you and I tell you, someone close to me is sick, it's not really looking right, you might address me from a place of what I call superficial. You're there for me superficially. You're not really relating with me. But if you've gone through the journey, if you walked that journey, when I tell you I don't know what to say, you understand. Because you know there are moments when you don't know what to say. When I come to you and I tell you I want out, I want to quit, you know, because you've also been in those places. So as I am leading and limping, because that's a level of limping as well, because you're no longer functioning at your level best, you're able to hold my hand better. So that's the place of what I say, God never wastes resources. Whatever limping you're going through, whatever season you're going through, there is a place of you will use it. It's an investment from heaven. Someone will require your testimony or your confession. Someone will require you to walk them through that journey, because nothing is new on this earth.
Wow.
Nothing.
As you've said everything that I would have thought to say, but as I wind down my thoughts, I'm reminded of Elijah. When he called down Mount
Elijah.
Like when he called down fire on Mount Carmel. After hiyo kisina, imagine sasa na imagine ingekuwa time kama leo, Elijah amefanya hivi mega crusade, watu wamehiliwa, miracles have happened, miracles that we've not seen in this world, and then Elijah runs after hiyo crusade imeisha hivi. The next place Elijah is seated ni amekamali, amekelea kichwa katikati ya miguu yake, anaambia God, niue. What would make such a man say that? They were struggling. He had wounds. He had wounds where he was like,
loneliness, let's live with them. Loneliness, fear, depression.
Exactly, everything. And so he's thinking, how can you use a boy like me? How can you just like uliniangalia tu ukaona kijana kama mimi naweza fanya kitu kayo? And he's so overwhelmed. And I love the way the Lord responds to Elijah. That's my winding down thought. The way the Lord responds to Elijah is so nicely. The Lord speaks to him in a very still voice. And he nourishes Elijah and he gives Elijah rest.
There is a place of resting. Yeah.
So as a leader, there is a place of rest. I don't know what you're limping from. The Bible says in the book of Corinthians that my grace is made perfect in your weakness. So rejoice in the weaknesses. They might be heavy, it might be crazy, we might not know what you're battling with, a failed marriage, children that are wayward, things that are happening. There's so much that you're going through as a leader that presses you left, right, and center, and you're imagining you're struggling with unfaithfulness to money, because it's not just unfaithfulness, infidelity. There are people who struggle with being good stewards of money. They cannot. You're struggling, name it. There is rest only when you want to partner with God and walk that journey. And that's where I wind down my thoughts.
That's why you drop the mic. Anyway, I think for me, I'll just repeat something that I think hopefully we've said at one point as we were having this conversation, that your limping should not be at any one point ever be a limitation. If anything, it's supposed to push you towards God more and towards growth more. I think we touched it on one of our relationship episodes at one point, the place that we were calling growing pains. It's painful, yes, but the pain should not drive you to incapacitation. No, it's supposed to drive you towards growth, because it's in growing that you stretch. You stretch capacities, You know how we are told that old wine skins can't hold new wine, So you need to keep changing. You need to keep becoming better. It's supposed to inspire growth. And we are here to tell you, this is the final thing I'm saying, that we all struggle.
And it's okay to limp. It's okay to struggle.
And with growth, in every level, you'll always find something new to fight with. There is someone who said that when you're exposed to money, small levels of money, you start thinking that people are fighting you. Madam, ujaingia levels za sasa people want to take you out, to assassinate you out, because now you are handling money. People want to corrupt you. So every other level, there is something new, because there are spaces that you will get into and people want, who are you? You can't be here. We don't want you. So how well structured are you? So that's the question. As we wind it up, again, I repeat, your limping should never ever be your limitation.
The psychologist has said it all. That's where we wind up our episode today. Next week we talk about authority in the secret place. Oh my God. And then we will be done with leadership.
Like literally, what powers your leadership?
Exactly.
That is it. And until then, see you then. As always, this is Foxy Diaries.
The untold tales of wit, wisdom, and wild times.